Hey, 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 it's Tia, baby, and I am back with another video. So today I'm going to do part 2 of the shenanigans between Chris, Selena, and Vanessa. Chris, of course, married Vanessa after a little while after Selena passed away. He remarried. So I already talked about, stuff that was pertaining to his daughter and a little bit about allegedly what happened between Chris and Vanessa when they were married. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that and also include the not the text but the comments that Chris's daughter had allegedly said from supporters that sent them to me. She did indeed allegedly delete them because when I went on her page, I didn't see them. But of course, some of my supporters, they already screenshot the comments that she wrote before she deleted it. So, but before I go into that, so Vanessa and Chris met in 1998. And I did say that I thought that they got married in early 2000s, but they actually got divorced. I want to say towards the late 2000s, like 2008, but I consider that still early 2000s. But they met in 1998 by a mutual friend of Vanessa's. His name was John Garza. And they fell in love. That's according to this article that I'm, glancing at because I'm not a librarian. I can't, verbatim remember every single detail of what I read or what I look at. So I have to make sure I get everything clear to you guys. So they fell in love as they began dating, according to this article. And happily, they tied the knot in 2001. So they dated for 3 years before they got married. So from one of my supporters who said that his daughter was born in 1998. So that means that, wow. If they met, because according to this article, they met in 1998. It didn't state what month they met in 98, but I'm not gonna say that she gave it up to him as soon as she met him, but it obviously didn't take no time for them to actually fornicate with each other, because if their daughter was born in 98 and they met in 98, I mean, yeah, that's 12 months out of a year. So they could say for instance, I don't know when her birthday is. Let me see. Well, it doesn't state in the article when what month she was born. No, it doesn't state what month she was born. But say she was born in August and they met in January 98. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So that's 7 months being together. So I mean, it's not that bad, but I mean, who's to say? But okay, long story short, they met in 98. They had a child in 98. They got married 3 years later. They also had another son. It doesn't state when he was born. Like I said, I don't really research about Chris's other family. I just don't. Oh my gosh, these kids. Ghetto neighbors. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Anyway, so they together have a son and a daughter, Cassie and Noah. So in this article that I am looking through, there was something that, caught my attention. I don't know why in this article, though, that it's saying that Chris Perez's ex-wife, Selena Quintanilla, because that's not his ex-wife. You have to be divorced to be considered an ex. he was not divorced from Selena. She died. So they used the wrong term. They should have said late wife, not ex. I'm going to talk about the divorce between the two. So it states that in 2008, Vanessa filed from divorce from Chris. And that's when the divorce case between Chris and Vanessa started. So according to some information, the main source for filing divorce by Vanessa was because Chris Perez was used to consume a lot of alcohol and drugs at the time. And I did say that in the first video that allegedly he was consuming drugs and alcohol. And I think, and a lot of people also believe, that it was probably related to the fact that he was still grieving or still like coping with losing Selena. That was like his coping method, trying to forget. The article also states that it has been said that Chris Perez was always busy, partied, and enjoyed himself by avoiding his wife, Vanessa. So he was always consumed with like partying and hanging out and not being around Vanessa, allegedly, or not attending to her. It also states that allegedly that he didn't care about Vanessa at all, and that allegedly he didn't bother about his wife. So he basically avoided her, allegedly, of all costs. And it may have been because of the drugs and alcohol, allegedly. I mean, some people say you're your most honest self when you're drunk or high, and maybe that was his most honest self. Maybe he just didn't feel like he was really in love with this woman. He just, like I believe I said that in the other video, that maybe he was feeling a void. Maybe he just was tired of being alone, or maybe he, he was pressured, and it seemed like he was probably pressured to date again. And, he thought he fell in love with her, but he was probably just vulnerable and just tired of being alone and tired of feeling what he was feeling. So he just, got with the next chick coming. And then he married her, and now he's like, he probably felt regret. He probably felt, like he was betraying Selena, and he probably just was like trying to avoid her of all costs because he can't get Selena. Allegedly he couldn't get Selena out of his head. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't there. I'm not in his head. I'm just going by what my theory is, and based on what I'm reading out of this article. Also, it said that, according to this article, it said that some of the reports support the fact that Vanessa had demanded all of Chris's properties as the final property settlement for their final legal separation. So she wanted everything. She was even considered as the lady of luxury by Chris's family. So basically, that sounded like she was a gold digger. Like she was just, very high maintenance, that she was just, money hungry. Kind of like probably like the female version of Abraham. Who knows? It also states that the family further added, saying that the reason for considering her as the lady of luxury was that the lifestyle of Vanessa was expensive as well. So I just said that's what that probably means, that she just was high maintenance, that she was money hungry. She was like to, spend. All right, so yeah, that was interesting. So it seems to me that his family really didn't care for her like that, and his family adored Selena. He said it in his book. They adored her. His mother adored Selena. His father adored her. They, went out their way and bought presents for her and did it in an untraditional manner because she was Jehovah's Witness. They really adored that woman, and from the looks of this article, it doesn't seem like his family really cared for Vanessa. But of course, because they got kids together, they have to respect her in order to have a relationship with their grandchildren. Now to the daughter situation. There's a picture that I did see this picture on Instagram, on her Instagram, but I also saw another picture of her that had red lipstick on, so I really didn't know which one. But a supporter of mine did send me this picture that I'm showing you guys. I don't think she looks like Selena. To be honest, I think she looks like Suzette. In my opinion, she kind of favors Suzette. She does a lot. Like, that could be Suzette's daughter. I'm not trying to say that they had a daughter together, no. But she looks, I would say she looks more, she does look like a Quintanilla, even though she's not one. But that's because of the makeup. I don't think that she actually looks like a Quintanilla, and I know she's not one. And no means am I trying to disrespect her in a way. But I could see that I don't see Selena, I can see Suzette. So in the message, and this is what I also was sent, and I put a check mark by what she said, and I circled what her mother said. So according to what you see, is a lot of people were saying that Selena, she looks like Selena. She looks like Selena. That could have been her daughter. Da 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 da. And Cassie wrote, "Too bad no one wants to think that. I have my mom." Now, she has every right to say what she says because she does have her own mom. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And how she wrote that, it did come off a little, rude or a little mean, because it's like, it's like you trying to throw shade. It's like, well, it's too bad no one wants to think that. Like, why you have to do that? Why do you have to say that? Like, you could have said, thanks for the compliment, but I don't see it. Or she could have just not responded at all. But it was just the way she said it. I just think that she was like, I do feel like she was a little upset that people were saying. I could feel the aggression in that. Well, not the aggression. I could feel the sarcasm in that message, and I think it's because she was protecting her mother. Because probably growing up, her mother was always probably being compared to Selena, and it was probably annoying to her. But like I said in the other video, you brought this to yourself. You knew what you were getting into when you dated Chris. You knew who he was with before he dated you. The marriage was publicized. So you knew that you were going to be compared. You knew you probably was going to get some evil stares. You knew you probably was going to get some criticism because everybody loved Chris and Selena together, and you are a constant reminder that she's no longer here because you're married to her husband. So you knew that. So I don't even know why you're upset. Like, I don't even know why the mom is upset. I don't get why the daughter's upset, but I feel like the mom put that on the daughter. I feel like she taught her to be aggressive towards Selena and Selena's legacy and all of that, because her mother is secretly, I feel, jealous of Selena, because she knew that she was irreplaceable when it came to the love for his love. She knew that she can't, it was something about Selena that she just could not break away. There was also, like, no matter how hard no matter how hard Vanessa loved Chris, she knew deep down that it's not enough. It wasn't enough, because he gave his whole heart to Selena a long time ago, and he never really got it back. He may have moved on to other people or may have dated other people, but his heart remained with Selena. And that's just it in a nutshell. You could just tell. Even to this day, he seems so, passionate about Selena, all of that. And like I said, there are other celebrities that have been married and lost their spouse, and you don't hear nothing about them. You don't rarely hear them talk about them. For example, Faith Evans and Biggie Smalls. They were a high profile marriage. He died back in '97, and he died. They were in a process of separating before he passed, but they were still legally married. They just had a baby together. She was considered a widow. She was distraught and all of that, because they interviewed her around the time he died. She was distraught and all of that, but you don't really hear her talk about Biggie that much to this day. And she had married on twice since he passed on. But you don't really hear that much. You don't really hear her talk about him that much. Now, she did do a recent, album, with Biggie, like a collaborator album with some songs that wasn't released that he did before he died, and it's called The King and I. But other than that, and she may shout him out every now and then, like during his birthday, or if he went, and then he recently got inducted to the Hall of Fame. But other than that, she don't really go on debt and go into debt about Biggie. She don't talk about him that much. He talks about Selena very much a lot, and and it just shows that the love that they had was so strong and so pure. So I can understand why Vanessa still feels some type of resentment or feel jealousy and all of that. And I think she instilled that in her daughter. And that's why her daughter is talking like that. Because, you can't be mad at Selena because she was once his wife. She was there from the beginning. She was there before they even existed. Well, before she existed, and she was with him before Vanessa. So why are you in your feelings? I would think she would be flattered to be compared to Selena, but if I feel like she can't be flattered because her mother is watching, because her mother feels a certain type of way, and she has to be protective of her mother. So I think that's where that energy is coming from, her mother. And then strolling down, it says Vanessa 71. It said, "Love you, baby. It's okay." So it's like, why do you have to say that? It's not like they made it seem like they were bullying her. They were complimenting her. But because Vanessa can't get out of that rut, that jealousy, rage, that comparison, she can't get out of that mode, that she, thinking that, oh, there they go about the Selena thing. Why? I mean, you married her husband. You gotta understand it comes with the territory. So why are you mad? And then on top of that, you instilled that in your daughter. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool. And like I said, going back to Biggie and Faith. Faith had a daughter before she had a son with Biggie. Not once have his daughter felt, a certain type of way about Biggie, or if somebody said, "Oh, you could have been Biggie's daughter." I mean, I don't know if people said anything like that to her, but there has never been any outsource, or I never heard her, speak ill about Biggie or anything. I think he kind of like helped raise her. Anyway, and so it's like, even with Biggie had a daughter before they had their son together, and his daughter don't speak ill about Faith. They all, stay in touch with each other. And they all, hang out with each other every now and then, as if Biggie was still here. So why are you mad? Like, why are you so mad at someone that didn't do anything to you, as someone that was there before you? You knew what you were getting yourself into. You can't get mad at that. So that must mean you don't care. You obviously got some ill feelings about yourself. You have some low self-esteem issues. I know, because I have low self-esteem issues. So it takes one to know one. So she must have low self-esteem issues, and she often compare herself to Selena, because Selena was a gorgeous woman. She had a nice figure. She was the it girl, and she probably often compared herself to her and probably felt bad about herself. And in return, it made her hate or dislike Selena when Selena never even done anything to her. But I mean, that's her feelings. She's entitled to her feelings. And I mean, by entitled, I mean Vanessa's entitled to her feelings. If that's how she feel about Selena, if she don't like Selena, if that's the case, if she don't like people, bringing up Selena to their daughter, you have to understand that comes with the territory. That's her wife. That's his late wife. You can't come between that. You just so happen to marry her husband. And then y'all had children together. But I don't think it was right for her to instill her hatred or her dislike for Selena into her daughter, because that's where it came from. Otherwise, her daughter, his daughter, would not be acting like that because somebody said you look like Selena. Like, it wasn't like people were attacking her. It was just a compliment because she wore the red lipstick and she wore the she had like the little curly hair. And I think she also said in another comment that I thought I had, but I don't have it, that she said, oh, because I have what, nobody can wear red lipstick, so if you wear red lipstick, you're considered looking like her. If you want, and then she said something about if you feel like that, go to her page or something like that. She was just like going off, and I was just like, it's not that serious. Like, why are you being so rude? People are just complimenting you. I don't think you look like Selena. I think you look like Suzette. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying you do personally, to me, look like Suzette. Because Suzette also wear the red lipstick and the, you know, the thick eyebrows and stuff. I mean, okay. But like I said, that's all I have for today. Long story short, they just need to get over it. If Cassie is upset, get over it, girl. It is not that serious. It's not like nobody's taking your mom away. Nobody's taking, you know, the attention away from your mother. We know you have a mother. We know you love your mother. We know, and you have every right to stand by your mother because that's your mother. Who wouldn't stand by their mother? Who's not going to protect their parent? You have every right to protect your parent. However, it wasn't coming from a hateful place. It wasn't coming from a negative place. They were complimenting you, and you really should not get mad because somebody say you look like Selena. You have to understand, Selena was his late wife. He was there before you existed. He was there before your mother was even involved with him. And for her mother, you need to understand that you knew what you were getting yourself into when you married him. You knew people was going to compare you to her. You knew that it was going to come with some drama and all of that. You should have had thick skin. If you wanted to stay with him, you should have had thicker skin and dealt with it. And just, accept it. If you couldn't, well, you did what you had to do. You obviously couldn't accept it. You obviously couldn't deal with it because you divorced him. Yeah, allegedly it said that he had substance abuse. He was drinking and all that, and that's understandable. But to me, if you're married, you don't take the easy way out. If you love your spouse and if you really want to make it work, and he or she is having, substance issues, you stand by them. You stand by, as long as there's no physical abuse going on, you stand by them. You help them. Well, they have to help themselves in order for them to get out of that. But you stand by them. You don't give up on them. And she gave up on them. She gave up on him by divorcing him. And then on top of that, it shows that you didn't love him as much as you say you did, because why you taking everything that he owned allegedly? That ain't love. That's money hungry. That's just wanting the money. So maybe that's why he didn't pay you no mind, Vanessa. Maybe that's why he probably dismissed you as his wife, because he probably sensed that you wasn't all the way there. He probably sensed that you weren't up to no good. He probably sensed that you were, after his money or whatever. He probably sensed that you wasn't really true to yourself and true to this marriage. So, come on now. You probably wasn't showing any attributes that you really genuinely loved him like Selena did. So, people can pick up on those vibes, and maybe he picked up on it. Or maybe, like I said, he wasn't fully over Selena and he just wanted to be with someone to kind of fill the void and think it would numb the pain or make him forget. And the drugs try to help him was a crutch to make him forget. I don't know. I wasn't there. This is just my opinion and, all of that good stuff. But, hey, who's to say? They're not together anymore. They went their separate ways. Let it be that. It's over with. Long as they co-parent, with their kids, and well, their kids are grown now, but as long as they were co-parenting and taking care of their kids mutually, then it don't even matter anymore. So I'll be back with another video. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite, and follow me. And I will see you guys next week.